Howdy, and welcome back to LeeReads, where I talk about the books I've been reading and enjoying lately. I recently did a book unhaul, which means now it's time to do a haul. I just want to share what I've picked up over the past few months, and I do still have some pre-orders that haven't arrived yet, but I can show you those in my next haul, whenever that is. First is one of my pre-orders, Shield Maiden, a Viking-inspired novel about a young woman who all she wanted was to be a warrior, but an accident happens and she becomes injured and can't necessarily do that anymore. All the while, she has some sort of power that has started to manifest within herself. That power gets her embroiled in some local politics. Treachery is afoot, as the back cover says. Really seems like it's going to be up my alley. This is one of my most highly anticipated books of the year, and so I hope that I really do enjoy it. After I went to Half Price Books to unhaul the books in my last video, I did find two books, and it was really nice. I paid basically $1 each for these once you factored in how much store credit they gave me for what I unhauled. The second book in the Scholomance series by Naomi Novik. I really enjoyed this fantasy series. Pretty much scarfed down books 1, 2, and 3 within a month time span last year. It's bonkers. But the world building I found was unique. The main character was funny, and I just overall recommend this story if you like somewhat of a dark and magic school setting that's just a bit unusual, or if you're a fan of Naomi Novik's writing. This one I haven't read, Times Convert, a novel that comes after the Alsos trilogy by Deborah Harkness. I've read book 1 and 2 in the Alsos trilogy, so I haven't finished it yet. This is following one of the secondary characters within that trilogy, and it's sort of their story. So I saw this one, and since I've been enjoying that trilogy, I thought I would pick this up. Two Twisted Crowns is one of my pre-orders that recently arrived because the book just came out. It is the second book in the Shepherd King duology. I have a reading vlog when I read the first book, One Dark Window, last year. I really enjoyed this one. I thought there was some really unique world building and with the magic system and kind of the premise that was going on. And so this is the continuation and conclusion of that series. I indulged a little bit in my love for T. Kingfisher with her recent release, Thornhedge, that came out. I went ahead and bought that novel, and I picked up Nettle and Bone, the physical version, because I'd read the ebook, and Nettle and Bone just won the Hugo Award, actually. So I have some T. Kingfisher in physical form, although it's a little painful because they're so short, but these Tor novellas are so expensive, and a lot of her self-published, independently published works are not as readily available. I did recently see a beautiful special edition of Paladin's Grace, which was the book that launched my love for T. Kingfisher, and I did a whole video on my love for The World of the White Rat. So I did order myself the special edition of Paladin's Grace. I have no idea when they're going to ship it, but I'm very much looking forward to receiving that. And there is a fourth Saint of Steel novel coming out sometime next year. And yay, more Saint of Steel makes me very happy. Some science fiction. I picked up Children of Memory, the third book in the Children of Time trilogy, which I recently finished on audio and really loved it. This might have been my favorite of the trilogy, although they were also different. It's hard to rank it, and I think this trilogy also just won the Hugo. So again, highly recommended. Godkiller was highly recommended as a short, very character-driven, but well-paced adult fantasy. I saw on Elliot Brooks's channel. It's not standalone. There's going to be a sequel, but it came out in the UK first, and so she was able to read it and talk about it a bit before it came out in the US, and it released this fall. The cover is just kind of like the perfect cover for the fall season, although I think the contents you could read anytime. Some of the Brandon Sanderson secret projects I decided that I wanted in hardcover because I only did the ebook version for the the original releases. So I picked up Tress of the Emerald Sea. I really enjoyed this one earlier this year. And I haven't read Yumi and the Nightmare Painter yet, but it's another one that is praised, and it's another one that seems up my alley as far as enjoyment, so I went ahead and got the hardcover of this, and I just think the art is pretty cool and different. Talon Sister by Jen Williams. This one I had to order from the UK because as far as I know it's not being published in the States yet, if ever. It's not standalone adult fantasy, and I really enjoyed this one. I have a reading vlog for this one, and also just as far as having the physical book, I think the cover is really nice. Another notable book I've picked up recently is The Will of the Many by James Islington. I started this one with a library book. I was only a page or two in, and I immediately knew I was going to have to go out and buy it because it was going to be special. That impression held true. I really, really liked this one. It's another high recommendation for the year, so I'm happy to have this for my shelf. Those are some of the books that I've collected over the last few months, and I'm happy to display on my new bookshelves. I still have some other outstanding pre-orders and books that I'm looking forward to, but we'll talk about those later. I hope that you enjoyed this haul. Which of these books would you be excited to read first, or have you read? Let me know what you think about them. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, don't forget to support your local library or your local independent bookstores as you can. Thanks.